today we're going to look into the topic survey lines from removable partial denture.
Here, a survey line is defined as a line drawn on a tooth or a teeth of a cast by means of a surveyor for the purpose of determining the positions of the various parts of a clasp or clasp. So here, as you can see, this is the surveying line. So it is nothing but a line produced on a cast of a tooth by a surveyor or scriber. This is the surveyor or the scriber, marking the greatest height of contour in relation to the chosen path of insertion of a planned restoration. Blatterfein divided the buccal and lingual surface of the tooth adjacent to the edentulous space into two halves. The half that lies near to the edentulous area is called as near zone. Okay, and the other half that lies away from the edentulous area is called as far zone. The area that lies near to the edentulous area is called as near zone, and the area that lies away from the edentulous area is called as far zone. Similarly, in case of proximal surface of the teeth, this can be described in the same manner. That is, the proximal surface that is near to the edentulous surface or the edentulous space is called as near zone, and the surface that is away from the edentulous space is called as far zone. The survey lines can be classified into four types: high survey line, medium, low survey line, and finally diagonal. High, medium, low, and diagonal survey lines. So first one is high survey line. So here you can see the line that passes from the occlusal third of the near zone to the occlusal third of the far zone is called as high survey line. So when a high survey line is present, the undercut will be deep, and hence we use wrought wire clasp. So basically, if you get a question where it is being asked as what would be an ideal clasp on a tooth with high survey line, you should mention the answer is cast metal clasp with wrought retentive terminal, which is nothing but combination clasp. And this is commonly found in inclined teeth and in teeth with larger occlusal diameter compared to the diameter of the cemento-enamel junction. Next type is medium survey line. So here it passes from the occlusal third in the near zone to the middle third in the far zone. Before it was occlusal third to occlusal third, now it's occlusal third to middle third. Okay. Either Akers or Roche clasp is used for teeth with medium survey line. So what kind of clasp do you use? What kind of clasp do you use in such cases? Either Akers or Roche clasp. Usually Akers clasp is preferable. And this is low survey line. Here the survey line is closer to the cervical third of the tooth in both near and far zone. So here you use a modified T clasp. Okay, modified T clasp is used in low survey line cases. It is common in teeth with marked inclination when it is associated with a high survey line on the opposite side. The retentive clasp tip cannot be placed in such cases because the undercut will be very close to the gingiva, and it makes it very difficult to maintain the oral hygiene. So hence we do not place the retentive clasp tip here. Okay. In such cases, one of the following designs can be followed. That is, a bracing or reciprocal arm is placed along the low survey line and a retentive wrought wire clasp is placed to engage the undercut in the opposite side. Either a bracing or reciprocal arm is placed in the area of low survey line, and on the other end you can place retentive wrought wire clasp, and you can use extended clasp. Recontouring of the tooth with a crown can be done. Okay, you can recontour the tooth with a crown. A proximal undercut can be used for retention. Proximal undercut, okay, can be used. So you can have a bracing or reciprocal arm with a retentive wrought wire clasp on the other side, extended clasp can be used, a recontouring of the tooth with a crown can be done, and a proximal undercut can be used for retention. And finally, we have diagonal survey line. So here the survey line runs from the occlusal third of the near zone, to the cervical third of the far zone, occlusal third to cervical third. Here a reverse circlet clasp is used. It is seen more commonly on the buccal surface of the canines and premolars. It can be managed by using reverse action or ring type Acker's clasp, or even L or T type Roach clasp. Once more, let's revise. There are 4 survey lines. First one is high survey line. In high survey line, the line extends from the occlusal third of the near zone to occlusal third of the far zone, and here we use combination clasp, that is cast metal clasp with rod retentive terminal. Then we have medium survey line, where the line passes from the occlusal third of the near zone to the middle third of the far zone, and here either Acker's or Roach clasp can be used. Most preferably Acker's clasp is used. Then comes low survey line. In this, line is closer to the cervical third of the tooth in both near and far zone. So here modified T clasp is used for teeth with low survey line, and you should be careful with the retentive clasp tip. So if you cannot give retentive clasp tip, we have discussed few designs that can be followed in such cases. And finally, we have diagonal survey line. Here the line runs from the occlusal third of the near zone to the cervical third of the far zone. So here you can use reverse circlet clasp. It can also be managed by reverse action, that is hairpin clasp, or ring type Acker's clasp when it is occlusally approaching, or L type or T type Roach clasp when it is gingivally approaching.
So that's all for today's lesson. I hope you have taken a note of everything that I've been taught. Stay tuned for more such videos.